Hi guys, this is Taylor, and today I'm going to attempt to do a non-spoiler review of Sandra Newman's The Heavens. Grove Press was so kind to send me an advance copy. This comes out on February 12th, and it was probably my #1 most anticipated book of 2019. So I finished this last night. My hair is so dirty. I have to wear this hat for like the 3rd video in a row. I apologize, but I was not planning on being on camera today. But when I finished this book, I knew immediately that I was going to have to talk about it somewhere and that it wasn't going to fit in a wrap-up, so here we are. So, by definition, this is a very difficult book to review and to talk about. From the outside, like before you read this book, it seems like a relatively easy book to describe the plot of. But once you finish it, it's like, I have no idea where to even begin to describe the plot of this book. So I'm just going to revert to my conception of the plot as it was before I started the book. This is about Kate and Ben, who are 2 young people who fall in love in Manhattan in the year 2000. Everything is going great initially, but then Kate starts becoming more and more concerned and more involved in these very vivid dreams that she has, where she is transported back in time to Elizabethan England. These dreams are very real to her, and it gets to the point where she starts to kind of lose her grip on reality, and of course that takes a toll on the relationship. I will say, to start off, that I have never read a book like this before. Not remotely close. Normally I am a person who takes kind of a long time to figure out whether or not I really like a writing style. Like, it's not something that I can assess right away, but I read the first paragraph of the first chapter and I was like, that was an amazing paragraph. I read the first 3 pages of the first chapter and I was like, is this going to be one of my favorite books? The writing was everything. Her language flows so beautifully and naturally. It is nuts. So I was like intoxicated by the writing in this book. I really was. And then we have, of course, a character struggling with her perception of reality. But this book also deliberately plays with your perception of reality. So that was fun. And I guess the word that I would use to describe the reading experience is compelling. It was a page turner for sure. Okay, some of you know that Kafka on the Shore is my favorite book of all time, and what makes it my favorite book is not really like the content, it's the ride that you go on as a reader. The ride from beginning to end. So The Heavens actually gave me a very similar type of feeling. It was a buck wild ride. So interpret that however you want. But the #1 thing I want to talk about in this review, and the #1 thing that compelled me to make this video, is that right at the end of the book, the plot goes a little, not a little, the plot goes a lot bonkers. And even before that point, but especially after that point, you could have 2 main interpretations of what is going on in this book, like what this book is really about. If I go with this interpretation, it's a 5-star book. It's so ambitious and well done, it couldn't be anything but a 5-star book for me. But if I go with this interpretation, I have to bring it down to at least a 3-star, because there are a lot of things about this interpretation that are uncomfortable, and I just don't feel it's as compelling. And based on the early reviews that I've seen on Goodreads, the majority of people seem to be going with this interpretation. Here's the thing though, I don't know which of these main interpretations is my own. I absolutely see both sides. I think it's possible that we're supposed to see both sides and that it's supposed to be ambiguous, in which case I have no idea how to rate this book. I think this book is going to be very polarizing. I can see the interpretations going either way, and I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. This is the very first book that I have just not rated on Goodreads. I marked it as read, and I was like, I can't do anything more than that because I genuinely have no idea how I feel about it. I don't even know whether or not to recommend this because clearly there were aspects that I absolutely loved. But really, depending on how you interpret this book, it's gonna change your perception of it in a big way. If you are going to read this, if you are interested, I would really recommend, if you can, reading it with a friend and talking about it when you've both finished it. I don't know if there's really a point in talking about it midway, because I can almost guarantee that your perception of what is going on is not going to be the same as your perception of what is going on at the end. I'm just going through it with this book. I've never been so conflicted about a book in my life. As I said, I'm gonna keep thinking about it, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you for letting me get this all off my chest. And I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh my god.